This is Scout's week 6 video recap. So we've already gone through charging his clicker and doing a couple of food luring exercises. So now we're going to get right into using his head collar. So this week I've really been pairing the leash skills that we've been working on with him with his head collar. We've been working a lot outside in the driveway. So I'm just going to kind of go over everything in here. We may get to videoing outside. It is pretty rainy today. If I don't get a chance to do it today because of the rain, I did take a video yesterday that I'll just kind of put at the end of this video. So we're still using 2 leashes, the slip lead and the one that's attached to the head collar. This is going to distribute that pressure a little more evenly between the bridge of his nose and his neck. So that way, when he does feel the leash pressure, it's not on his nose at once. I also did tighten the head collar a little bit this week. So you may see that he goes down and kind of paws at it a little bit more than he has been because it is a little bit snugger around his head. It should probably just take him a few days to get used to that. And I'll show you what to do if he does start to paw at the head collar. Okay, so I already have a slip lead on. I'm going to get him into a nice sit position as I get this head collar on here. Scout, sit. Good boy. Yes, what a good boy. Okay, so once I have that head collar on, I'm going to grab both of the ends of the leashes, put them on my thumb. We're going to do our leash lock where I drape it over my pointer finger. Then all that's going to sit in this hand. And I'm also going to have my clicker in that hand as well. So now my left hand, which is the side that Scout's going to be walking on, is free for treats. So we're just going to move through everything that we've been working on the past few weeks. So getting him into heel, having him sit in heel position, forward movement, front cross turns, and U-turns. Scout. Heel. Sit. Good work, buddy. Let's go. So there's a U-turn. There's a front cross turn. So I'm pretty much to the point with him where I don't need to put the food lure down to get him to turn with me, but I am clicking and rewarding after we both complete the turn. Good boy. So we do want to keep in mind that when we take this into a new environment, meaning when we start working outside with him, I probably am going to need food more frequently than I do in the house. Sit. Because there's a lot more distractions outside, right? There's cars, there's people, there's squirrels, there's leaves blowing by. Break. So even though in here I'm really only marking and rewarding after we complete a turn, when we're working outside, we are probably going to have to reinforce and reward him more frequently. Good job, buddy. So when I'm going to take the head collar off, I do want this to be in a nice controlled sit as well. So here he's pawing at it. What I'm going to do in that situation is I'm going to take the slip lead and just put upward pressure on the slip lead and maybe take a few steps. And then when Scout moves with me again, that's when I'll mark and reward him. Good job, buddy. Okay. Scout, sit. Good boy. So again, I just want him in a nice controlled sit while I take this head collar off. You're sliding away from me, bud. Good job. We've been working with the head collar outside a lot more with Scout the past couple days, so we're going to go through getting this on him outside and then reviewing all of the leash skills we've been working on with him. So I already have him on a slip lead, getting him into that sit while I get the head collar on. Good boy. And then once that's on him, I will grab both leashes in my right hand. Clicker is also going to be in my right hand. We're just going to take a few steps backwards here. Okay, so I'm going to first get him into heel position. So remember, when we move to a new environment, we may need to go back to using food. Scout, heel. Sit. Let's go. So practicing our U-turns and our front cross turns. Good boy. And adding a little more distance. So a good place to start is going between 2 driveways. Nice work, buddy. time here. Scout, heel, sit. What a good man. Let's go. Whoops, that's on your butt. So rewarding after we make the turn, but also remembering we're in a new environment, so I may need to bring that food out to help him turn. What a good puppy. Doing so good, bud. Break. Nice work, bud. Good boy. I've been continuing to work on Scout's door manners, so this week the goal is for me to be able to step through the threshold, use his release cue to let him through that doorway, but then since you guys have the steps right here, I want him to kind of wait at the steps. So what I like to do is when I mark him or when I release him to come through the doorway, that's when I'm going to pull out the food and get him into a nice sit just at the other side of the door so that he's not pulling me down the stairs. So hopefully you can see it on this video. I was going to video from outside, but it's raining, so we'll see how this goes. So I do want to get him back away from the door a little bit. Here, bud. Scout, sit. Wait. Break. So here's where I'm going to take this piece of food and get him into a sit. We've been continuing to work on Scout's mat behavior, so the goal that I'm working towards this week is being able to completely disengage from him while he stays on the mat. So my back may be turned to him, I'm not making eye contact with him. I just want to see that he'll stay on place while I'm doing something else, only because it's not going to be realistic for us to always have eyes on him. Scout, place. So still marking and rewarding after he initially goes on, but then again, I'm going to practice disengaging from him while he hangs out on there. So I am still going to mark and reward periodically, but I want to start to go a little bit longer stretches with me disengaging from him. What a good boy. Nice work, bud. So another nice way to do this is like by sitting at your dining room table and having him next to you. You could do this while you're eating meals. You could do this if you're reading or if you're watching TV. But again, we just want to start to go a little bit longer periods where we're disengaging from him and he's making that choice to stay on that mat. What a good boy. And then I will, after I reward him maybe 3 or 4 times, I will let him break off of here. Break. And then we'll kind of start over again. Scout, place. He's gonna need a bigger place soon. Getting big, Bubba. What a good boy. So I can also practice sitting on the couch and disengaging from him. So again, this is a nice one to do while you're watching TV. What a good boy. Break. And I would say you're probably at the point where you could leave his placemat out all the time. He has a pretty good understanding of it. With that, though, if he goes over to it on his own and lays down, he's not going to get rewarded for it. But then at the same time, he can get off of it whenever he wants because we didn't put him there. Good job, buddy. Yeah, good boy.